Hello and welcome to Gamer Bullshit, a podcast that deals with gaming and other ridiculous stuff that you probably don't even care about. Today I have Jacob with me, and my name is Austin, and I did that completely backwards. And today we're going to talk about Immersion. How are you, Jacob?
Bueno.
Are you muy bueno?
Sí.
Sí. Are you gonna speak Spanish the entire episode?
No.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So, Jacob, or Senor Jacob, yes, Senor Jacob,
Jacobo,
Senor Jacobo. We're gonna talk about immersion in games today.
sí.
I wanted to go in a little bit of detail of what my definition of immersion is in video games, because I'm sure everyone who listens to the podcast and ignores our podcast has a different definition of immersion. But my definition of immersion would be that for me to be immersed into a game, I have to not only lose track of time or not care about it, but I have to be so enveloped in its world that like every little detail about it is just like so, like it just feels like you're there, and like you could, it's believable. The whole thing is believable to you in some sort of sense. And, like I said, like losing track of time or not caring about it, that's when I feel like I'm immersed in a game, because like I don't want to put it down, because I just feel like, oh, it's just, I'm there and I want to keep going.
Right.
So, what's your definition of immersion?
I mean, there's many different elements to it, at least for me. I definitely like what the actual environment does, how detailed the world is, from stylistically to graphically, and how true it represents the story. Another thing that I think helps the environment is little like intricate things that gets added into the environment. That's not necessarily buildings or anything, from whether people talking on streets, people on the streets in general, little papers or audio logs that you can find that add to the history of the world, not just what you see and what happens in the story. The story is very important. However, I like audio logs and things like that to just add like little stories or instances or something that ties in with the game itself, I think really adds to the immersion of the game. And if you can immerse me in the game with all those things, and it makes a big deal. Yeah, like the tiny stuff. Of course, I mean, oh yeah, no, naughty Kool Aid. But I mean, it's the main story and side quests, that's important. But the way that the environment is set up, from a tone and the way that everything is made, and just little small stuff. It's the small stuff,
the little things, because all
exactly.
of the little things add up.
Exactly. It's the little stuff. It's like a little flavor, a little kick, something that just kind of makes it. Wow, I feel like I'm actually in this
meatball
place.
is very spicy.
That's one spicy meatball.
I like a little spice in my, variety.
I like a little variety in my spice. Wait, what? That doesn't even make. Shut up.
I don't care.
I don't care. I say it
don't
anyway
care about
I like.
you or anyone else. I just care about me because I'm selfish.
That's right. Immersion.
Ha ha!
Eat your heart out.
Whoa. No one needs to go cannibalistic now, okay?
Too late.
Damn it, Jacob.
I've already ate my own heart.
Oh. Well, how are you still alive?
Immersion.
See, that's right there. Right there, kids. That's how you do it. That's how you immerse someone.
Make them eat their heart.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't say that. We are not liable.
We're not responsible
for any stupidity you do.
Yes.
That's our disclaimer.
It's in the audio, so you actually have to listen to it. We're not going to write it in any description.
Yeah, well, that's lame. Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, our podcast is explicit. We have the parental advisory on it.
I know. Makes me feel pretty cool.
I know, right? Makes me feel like a Limp Bizkit album.
No, too far.
uh, what, it doesn't make you feel... Okay, anyway. But I wanted to talk about some of the games that have immersed me. I actually have a few. I have a few that I'd like to discuss.
Let me guess. My Little Pony, My Little Pony 2, and My Little Pony 3, The Revenge of Pony Galore.
Oh my gosh, how did you know?
I'm just good like that, man.
Yes, bronies for life. Not.
Woo!
Okay,
My little
first game.
ponies.
And this isn't even like a highly realistic game. It's just like how much I fell in love with the stories and the lore in the game, and I'd have to go with Dark Souls 1. I got really enveloped in the world of Dark Souls 1. Reason being is because I went into this game blind, like I've said, many times, and I played it for a straight 2 months when I first got it. But what really immersed me in it was all of the lore in the game. Like, each item had a description and kind of like a story behind it. And that made me start building this whole foundation of this world I was traversing and fighting in. And, like, it just kept building and adding. And it really, like, that's how I got immersed, was the lore in the game. Putting the pieces together and feeling like, oh, this is why this is here, or this is why this is happening. And, like, just answering my questions and, the whys and hows is how I really got immersed in Dark Souls. And the gameplay itself was really engaging, so that also helped me. I know, yes, it has magic in it, and, like, there's undead curse and yada yada yada. But it was just, like, how everything played out in the game. Like you said, the story elements is what, like, really drove it for me. So I really got immersed in Dark Souls 1 and did not want to put it down. Like, I lost track of time while playing that game. I played hours on end. And I loved every minute of it. Other than the parts when I was, dying.
Which is about 40% of the game time, right?
I'd say 50%.
Oh.
I mean, anyone who plays Dark Souls and isn't, like, a pro, but plays it, like, because they enjoy it, I'd say 50%.
I didn't enjoy Dark Souls. I couldn't get immersed in it. I don't know if it was just too hard for me, but I don't think that's a valuable answer, because even though Bloodborne is too hard for me,
I feel like you didn't get immersed in it is because it didn't really tell you anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, but Bloodborne doesn't either, really. I mean,
yeah, but that's because you're interested in Bloodborne's world, where Dark Souls
right.
You probably weren't.
Yeah, pretty much. That adds. Yeah, that adds to it. I mean, it's like
because
he was really
literally
surprised.
Those games don't tell you pretty much anything. They give you little bits in tiny little things of information, but
right.
you have to piece it all together. And a lot of people don't like that. I do,
right?
Because then my imagination can go wild, and I like hearing other people's interpretations of the story. So then, like, I can make my own interpretation.
Right. I mean, I respect games that don't tell you everything. I think too many things between movies and video games, they tell you too much right away. Even from like trailers, it's like, oh, well, I already know this is going to happen, and it's like, why would I even go see? I feel like I've seen the whole movie
the
right there.
For movies, right?
Oh my gosh, that's just a topic for another day. Like, that's like for a movie discussion day or something like that. But, I do feel like there has to be a balance. I mean, there are some games that it can get away with it, like Bloodborne, for example. And while it does, like, give you descriptions that you can read about things, and it'll give you insight into the world and add to it, that world is actually just straight. It's interesting to look at. It's like
it's
twisted. Like this. It is twisted. It's like almost like a Victorian setting city with
an H.P. Lovecraft style.
Pretty much. And I mean, whereas Dark Souls, I didn't play that much Dark Souls, but it was just really dark, and
hence the name Dark Souls.
Well, no. All jokes aside, it's like it's just like so dark that everything just looks really bland, and it just didn't seem interesting to me, and bleak. And I know that's probably the point of it, but at the same time, it's like when you've got an environment that's that bleak and dark, and the combat is hard to boot. It's like it's hard to get immersed because you're dying the whole time, And it's just like, well, what the heck? I'm not enjoying anything. I'm not living. I can't even enjoy the world. The world's too dark to enjoy. So, I mean, that's probably why I didn't get really into Dark Souls, but I got like Bloodborne. But I can understand. I appreciate and respect games that don't tell you everything and like leave it up for your own interpretations. That's why I like games that have like an open ending where it's like, wait, did that just happen? What I think just happened about what blah blah. I really like that kind of stuff. But
See, like, and the reason why back to Dark Souls, the reason why it was so bleak though is because I know you're not familiar with the story, but in Dark Souls with the whole undead curse thing, it's a curse that humans have that eventually they'll go hollow and basically become like a dumb zombie. Basically, like they don't truly die. I mean, die. So in Dark Souls 1, there's something in there called the linking of the fires, and basically the bonfires throughout the game are all part of a intricate system of fires, and with the fires is what helps the cycle continue. Well, in Dark Souls 1, the fire is going out. Okay? And that's why everything's so bleak, because the cycle is ending. And in Dark Souls 1, you are given the choice at the end to either link the fire to continue the cycle or leave the fire and end the cycle so it can go into the next one. But Dark Souls 2 kind of screwed that up. But that's why Dark Souls 1 was so bleak, was because it was in that point in that cycle, in that lifetime, that the cycle was trying to end.
I can understand that. I know it's really recent when it comes to immersion, but if I was to give an example, I mean, honestly, there's not a better example that I can give right now than with the new Batman Arkham Knight game. Like, man, I'm telling you.
How does Batman immerse you? I'm curious to know this.
Okay,
because the reason why I say this is because it's a Batman game. You already know all the characters. You're not you're Batman. So. And everybody knows the villains and everything. So I want to hear your gist on this.
Well, one thing that definitely helps this game anyway. Well, really, I could say this about all three of the Arkham games. Well, really, technically four, but three from Rocksteady. And Origins was pretty good. It was a different developer, but they just wanted to get another Batman game out of there, which I can understand. That it's actually pretty well made. Really, all jokes aside about that game. But if we're going from Asylum to City to Night. The way those games are styled, it's dark, it's bleak. You're Batman. All these prisoners are going amok. Well, at least for Night, the way they do it, this is the tone. Imagine the open world of City, but with the tone and seriousness of Asylum turned up a couple of notches. If you remember, Asylum was very dark. It was very dirty. It was very unpleasant. You'd go from one section to the other. There'd be one bad guy here, another bad guy there. And then next thing, you run into Scarecrow there. Oh, and then here comes Joker again, sort of stuff. Arkham Knight, the city is beautiful. It's raining all night. You get a costume change after like this little tutorial. Like you're actually wearing what you wore in City at first, and then you change into the new suit that you see advertised, and it's freaking awesome. The tutorial doesn't even feel like a tutorial. It's kind of slow paced at the beginning, but it's a good slow pace. Like it kind of builds it up, and the voice acting for everybody from Batman to Scarecrow to Commissioner Gordon, everyone, Riddler, Two-Face, other people that you probably don't know are in there, all exceptional, even down to firefighters and policemen that you rescue throughout the game, just as like little side mission and stuff like that. They're really well done. And you find there's certain characters you get audio logs about, and then the story is like for each character that you encounter, it shows a bio. It shows what kind of like this is a different kind of immersion because they'll actually tell you the very first issue that this certain character was ever introduced in the comic world. It'll tell you where they're based in, like what city, if like from Gotham, Bloodhaven, whatever. what the real name is, if it's known what the real name is. It gives you a bio of how they pretty much started out, and what they've been up to, and like since the events of last game and stuff like that. And then, excuse me, and then it'll tell you like what their traits are, like if they're really strong, if they're really crazy, stuff like that. Like has an insane hatred for Batman. It says stuff like that. And then Riddler trophies. Let's get into Riddler trophies. While there is a lot of them.
Fuck those.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
I
know.
hate the Riddler in the Batman Arkham games. I really do.
Well, what's cool about the Riddler, anyway, at least in Batman and in Arkham Knight, is they do the trophies still, but they also do like a side plot where he kidnaps Catwoman, and you have to pretty much go to these different places, do like these. It's pretty much more Batmobile driven with, and then also you could be Catwoman and Batman throughout these little sections, and do puzzles and stuff like that. But what's cool about him is, you do those missions, of course, but you also have to find all the Riddler trophies to actually to actually face Riddler, which I can understand. I just kind of wish they put a little bit less in there because there's just so many. But I understand why they did it, because the city's so huge. Excuse me. And but pretty much what's cool is, like, if you find Riddler trophies or stuff like that, sometimes they'll actually unlock like a little side story that goes in with the game with characters and such that actually goes along with the story. And it's just really good. The story is really good. All the side missions, like, I feel like pretty much the game forces you to almost do everything because you're trying to stop major crime in Gotham once and for all. It makes sense. Do as much as you can because it's going to be fulfilling in the end. And like I said, everything, the voice acting, the story itself, everything is just great. And yes, you already know the characters, but it adds layers to them. Every character in this game gets driven to the brink of insanity, from Batman to Scarecrow to the Arkham Knight to Riddler. Everyone goes through phases, and you can tell in the tone of their voice alone. And then when they start to go, like the little pauses they take in their dialogue sometimes, or the speed of which they'll go. And there's just a whole bunch of other stuff that I really can't get into because it deals with some spoilers, and it just makes it that much more enjoyable. Like, it's probably one of the most immersive.
With how believable and relatable the characters are, even though you know the characters, that's part of the reasons why it immerses you.
Absolutely. It's like the first night I got it opening night, as you know, and I intended to play for maybe a couple hours and then go to bed and then play again in the morning. Well, I didn't fall asleep till about 5:30 in the morning. Like, I played from about 1 o'clock to 5:30. I played for 4.5 hours opening night. I was like, okay, I need to go to bed. I woke up at 11 o'clock in the morning after getting like 5.5 hours of sleep, and I played for another 6 hours before I had to go to work. Straight.
See, and I love games that do that.
Like, oh, I do too, man. Like, The Witcher did it for me, but I think I enjoy Batman more than Witcher. And you know me, I really enjoy The Witcher. I know, exactly.
It's Batman. Did you know that Batman Arkham Knight has actually outsold The Witcher 3?
I believe it. Batman has a wider audience. People didn't really know about Witcher until Witcher 3. It makes sense. Batman's been around for almost 100 years.
Oh my gosh. He has, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been around for like 75 years, something like that.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about that. He's old.
He's still going strong. But no, I mean, it's just, that's the most recent, of immersion that I can think of. Of course, Witcher 3 immersed me really well, that's just all. But that's an entirely different kind of game. And, time went by when it passed and everything. But, when it comes to at least recently, honestly, the Arkham Knight game, time goes by so quick for me when I play that game. Not so much now because I'm trying to do all the side stuff that I should have done in between the main story, but I didn't because I'm lame. But even I know some people think that the side missions are kind of repetitive if you just keep doing them, but I actually enjoy kind of doing them because there's a lot of variety. There's some times where you got to take out bad guys just by hitting stuff, and then there's mission tanks, and then there's these mines placed around Gotham, where you got to upload a virus, and while it's uploading the virus, you have to destroy 30, 40 to 50 tanks. I have to take on 50 tanks by myself in the Batmobile. It's so much fun. I can't even like. Oh man, don't even get me started.
Oh,
I
you
love
already
this.
have. You already have. You already gone there.
It's my game of the year. Like the
You're
case
like, it's
closed.
done. I don't even care. Like, game of the year for me.
Pretty much. I know Fallout 4 still hasn't come out, but Fallout 4
Uh,
won't beat this for
I'm
me.
so hoping when that comes out that I am so immersed that I grow like a 3 foot long beard.
I will give Fallout credit. It immerses me better than Skyrim.
No, see, that's what I was going. I was actually going to. What about Fallout 3? Did Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas ever immerse you?
You know what's funny? I actually played Skyrim before I ever played Fallout 3 because right around 09, 2010, when we were juniors and seniors in high school, that's when I was actually starting to be allowed to play M-rated games. I played some back when I was a freshman and everything, but that's when I was becoming an adult and parents were like, okay, whatever. Um, and I played Skyrim before because I bought that, and then I was like, this game's fun and everything, but there's something about it that just doesn't click with me. I'd rather watch movies that take in those kind of places for the most part than actually play them. Witcher 3 and Witcher 2 are like an exception to that.
Yeah, see, I was never a huge fantasy fan at all until I played Skyrim, which is funny because, like, I did not like Oblivion whatsoever. And then,
Oh, yeah.
like...
Oblivion sucks. No
and then,
offense to
like,
any Oblivion lovers.
Yeah. Oh, I hate Oblivion. Everyone's gonna be like, oh, I love Oblivion!
I don't. I'm sure it was good in 2005, but I mean, come
2006.
on. Oh, sorry, 2006.
But anyway, go on.
But I mean, The Witcher, they're kind of like an exemption to the fantasy of what I like to play. But normally, I'd rather watch fantasy than play fantasy. And I played Fallout 3. I think I played it in 2013 for like the first time, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think it was actually 2012 or 2013. It was one of those years, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't like get into it because at that point in my life, I was playing video games, but I was kind of like in a rut of like where I didn't know if I still liked to play video games as much as I used to. We've talked about it before where I went through that phase where I almost felt like I didn't really care for video games more. Like, I still think they were cool and everything, but I just couldn't play them anymore. Thankfully, that time is over because I think I would just be even more depressed than I was then.
Oh, I know, right? Like, same here. Like, that time when I sold my 360 and didn't have a console and tried giving up on gaming, it was like, at the time, it felt right because I was just so bored with my 360. But,
yeah, that's how I felt. Then I got the PS3, but then that didn't help any.
And then, like, I tried PC gaming for the first time ever, and I didn't really, like, get into it. And then I got a PS4, and now I'm back into it, and I love gaming. I can't give it up. It's too much of a part of my life to give up. It's too much of, it's one of my favorite hobbies, so.
Video game has been my babysitter since I was 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, so, and I mean, I don't want to give it up. So.
Oh yeah, I don't either. Like, I was scared that I didn't really care for it anymore that much.
Yeah, I was scared too. I really was. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what else am I supposed to do now? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I know I do other things. I have other hobbies, like riding my bike, and when I say riding my bike, people, I mean
bicycle.
My motorcycle. Not
bicycle.
my bicycle.
Don't listen to the lies.
Because I don't live in an area where I can ride a bicycle. I'm talking about my motorcycle, driving a motorcycle around.
He's the 40-year-old virgin
shooting guns, but that can only entertain you for so much.
Exactly.
So I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know if I should get into cards. I didn't know, it was so weird. It was a weird transition, kind of. It was really depressing, especially when I sold my 360. I was so bored with gaming at that time. Like, there was nothing out. There was nothing coming out that was interesting. I was just like, dude, I don't even want to play. Like, when I get on, I'm bored. You know what I mean? Like, I turn the 360 on, and instantaneously, I'm bored.
Right.
So, that's what happened to me.
I mean, it's like, you sold me your 360, and there was a couple games that had come out that I still really wanted. GTA 4 or 5 came out that year, and I got that.
I missed that year, and I was so pissed because I didn't have a console to play it on. Like, my parents had a PS3 at the time, but I hated playing on the PS3, so I didn't get it because I was waiting for a next-gen port, which they did, which I'm grateful for. So, but that entire year, I'm like, every time it went on sale or had a deal or something, I'm like, oh, I could play it.
No, like in Bioshock Infinite came out, that game really immersed me too. I love that game. Um, but I didn't have a PS3, so I couldn't play Last of Us. But thankfully, I got to play it on PlayStation 4. But then in early 2014, I sold the 360, got a PS3, played Last of Us and God of War 3 and Heavy Rain and stuff like that, and they were
You
fun.
just said you couldn't play The Last of Us on PS3, but you got it to play it on PS4, and then you just said that you could play it on.
Not in that order, because people that don't know, I got my PlayStation 4 when Destiny came out. I got the Destiny bundle, but I don't like Destiny, but I like my PlayStation. But I had got a PlayStation 3 to substitute the 360, at least until, because I wanted to play some of the games that I couldn't have played on the 360, the exclusives.
Yeah, like the Uncharted series.
Exactly. I love the Uncharted series. I'm really glad I got to play them. But it just, like, something was off, and then I got my PlayStation 4 hoping Destiny was going to change all that. And I loved the console, hated the game. Got to play Diablo 3, which was fun. Not my favorite kind of game, but I enjoyed that game. And then I got to play Last of Us on Remastered, and I loved it. And I was like, okay, this can hold me over. And then slowly but surely, 2015 kind of made up for 2014 being a complete letdown.
Actually, the very first game that ever made you happy about your PS4 was The Witcher 3.
Completely happy, yes. Shadow Mordor I really enjoyed. It wasn't like it immersed me, and I love the Lord of the Rings games. But it's just hard for me to play through it and beat it all, just because there's something about it that doesn't keep driving me to finish it. And I got Wolfenstein for Christmas. That's a fun game. It's a better first-person shooter that didn't get enough credit because it doesn't have
loses your attention because it doesn't give you the drive to do anything anymore. That's really sad.
It is, and especially when you really enjoy the game.
Because that breaks your immersion in it, and then
Exactly.
It's like you don't want to play anymore. You just put it down and never finish it.
Yeah, and Mortal Kombat came out, and that's a fun game to play with people. And of course, we played the story mode, but the story mode isn't that long.
Yeah,
and
it's really
just fighting.
short.
It's just fighting, And then Bloodborne, I gave that a try, and that's fun. But I mean, I still need to beat it with Austin's help, and I'm willing. I'll probably like trade it in once I beat it and everything, just so that way I can say I beat it. Even if it was with help, but that's the point of it. That's the point. That's the point of adding summon a friend.
Basically, I've played the entirety of Bloodborne all the way up to the Forbidden Woods with Jacob by helping him with all of the bosses.
Pretty
much. Because ever since they did the update that when you put a password on your world, you can summon any type of level to your world. Well, Jacob is like, what are you, like level 40 something?
Yeah, something like that, probably.
Yeah, I'm like level 138 or something.
Yeah,
I'm already on New Game Plus, so you summon me and I destroy everything.
And it's like I'm getting better as a player with it, but it's just not the kind of game that I could actually beat by myself. Not that I'm a bad gamer or anything. I'd like to think I'm a pretty good gamer. But it's one of those games where like you almost have to have a kind of drive for that kind of game. It's like, oh dang it, I got killed. I'm gonna go get. Oh, I got killed again. Gonna keep going and going. Just until you. For some reason, these kind of games don't necessarily click with me, with the constant deaths and the learning and the the repeat and learning.
Yeah, it's like Dark Souls.
Exactly, and but the game, like the environment intrigues me and the creatures intrigue me. That's why I keep coming back to it. And look at that, we're back at Immersion again. And then Witcher 3 came out, and that was my game of the year until Batman came out. That game, like, I was on vacation for 2 weeks when that game came out. That's all I played.
Yeah.
Austin remembers, he was there.
I know. You beat it in those 2 weeks.
I did. I was actually surprised that I beat it. Like, I haven't done all the side quests. There's just so many side quests. Like, I actually need to play Witcher again. Like, not necessarily the story,
when
but
you get done with Batman.
Yeah, when I get done with Batman, I'm about 90% completion.
Your Batman game's Batman, and The Witcher's Robin.
Right now, yes, it is.
But
I mean,
sorry, Geralt. It's like Batman kicks your ass.
Exactly.
He's Batman.
But no, I mean, like, when it comes to immersion, the most recent, of course, Batman. But
you know what game though? Like, okay, it can be immersive, but it doesn't immerse me. I just view it as a fun game to play. And we talked about this earlier. It was Grand Theft Auto 5. I never actually got like truly immersed in it. Like I played it and enjoyed it, but like I still like would watch the time and do other things. Like I knew like the game was itself, and I do know that with every game. But I mean, like it felt like a game and nothing more to me. Like I really enjoyed Grand Theft Auto 5, great game. But I never felt truly immersed, and the reason why I never felt truly immersed in Grand Theft Auto 5, even though, it's very realistic and all the NPCs are like, real life people, it's because of how huge of a parody and how, like, I guess cynical or whatever the game is really broke my immersion for me, because it's just too unbelievable for me that everything in the fucking game is a parody. Like, it's funny, but it's not believable for me. So that's what broke my immersion. Like, when you're on your phone on the internet, your mouse is a middle finger. Like, it's like, in real life, that's not how it is. And then, like, the TV shows and all that, hilarious, just not, every single TV show is just so obnoxious. It's unbelievable.
So, you're saying that because the game, like, with how many realistic things that there are in the game, the fact that everything else is, like, really redonkulous when it comes to, like, the story and the television and everything, that like, brings you out of the immersion. But
yeah, it's like South Park. Like, South Park has real life things in it, real life people, but it's so obnoxious and ridiculous and out there, like, it's so on the other side of the spectrum that it's, you laugh at it, but it doesn't really immerse you.
But if it's consistent with its tone and everything, regardless, even if though it has very many real elements that are very realistic, even though like it has that, do you think that with the consistency of its tone, with the story and the other elements in the game, that would actually kind of be the opposite, and you would be more immersed in it, because it's like, okay, at least they're being consistent with like the zaniness and the wackiness of the game, whereas like some places don't know whether to be too serious, too funny, where GTA has a good balance of being realistic, but it's a realistic, yeah, it is a parody, and I will admit that, but there's something about it that, like, with its consistency and the goofiness and the zaniness and everything, that it's kind of like, okay, I can actually kind of believe it. Like, I don't lose like 4 hours of my day like straight without even realizing
Grand Theft Auto 5!
Like, maybe when I was playing the story mode, I might have done that, but like, it's a game that I could like easily put down. Whereas Batman, I couldn't put it down. Like, I didn't want to put it down. Like, it's like reading.
We're back on Batman, guys.
Sorry, I just had to.
We all know it's your baby.
It's the most recent example I have of it.
No, you're geeking out, man.
You're hurting my feelings right now.
Oh, I am. Good.
But I mean, I'm just trying to like bring a more about GTA. I'm trying to bring more of a kind of like bringing, like, if it's so consistent, it should keep you immersed, not necessarily bring you out of it.
I never felt truly immersed in it.
I mean, I can understand that. I mean, it's pretty wacky, I will admit.
It is wacky.
It's not like the Saints Row where it's just too wacky.
Oh gosh, no.
But I mean, I'm glad that Saints Row made their own identity. It wasn't just like, oh, it's a GTA ripoff. They went with this crazy superhero route, and I admire that. Not my favorite games ever, really, but I mean, they're kind of fun if you want to, like, if you find them in a dollar bin or something like that, and it's like, I'm just gonna blow crap up and just have a dubstep going. Bah, 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 bah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
But I mean, that's all I really have on immersion. There's tons of games that have immersed me, but I think that's like,
I can't think
like
of any recent examples, like, other than like Grand Theft Auto, and I don't really want to go into details of like games with Diablo and stuff, because like it's not really a game that's I don't feel like it's supposed to immerse you. It's just supposed to make you interested. Actually,
just to stay on the immersive just for a couple more minutes. I know we've been on it for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, everyone's like, shut up!
But what about Last of Us? Because I know I was hooked from the start. I know you wasn't. I know you said it had a slow build up, which it does. But
the great thing about The Last of Us is it's believable. And that's why there's some gameplay moments where it kind of breaks your immersion because of how goofy the AI is, and how you can kind of like cheese it, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But the story, cutscenes and story, are really good. Like, those definitely believable. I could totally, like, get it. I don't know if I could say those bits immersed me, but, like, gameplay did not immerse me. So, I guess if you made a Last of Us movie, then yeah.
Okay. I was just kind of curious.
That's the one thing I did like about The Last of Us was it was very, other than, fungus zombies.
That's actually probably the most believable, besides, like, mad cow disease.
The story and the characters are very, very believable and relatable, and just, they're like, I get it.
Right.
And I completely, what's the term I'm looking for? Commend, or whatever?
Yeah.
The Last of Us for that.
All right, I was just kind of curious about it because I know I really enjoy that story, and yeah, I can agree that some of the AI is kind of clunky, with some of the combat.
I don't care how much of an asshole Joel is, I still like Joel.
I don't think Joel's an asshole.
I don't care that he fucked the rest of the world, because who knows if it would have worked.
The world was already fucked.
I know, right? So you know what? Let the man be selfish.
Mankind could never go back. It'd been like, 25 years, something like that.
It had been a ridiculous amount of time.
It won't ever get back to the way it was.
I know.
People
and
can
what
try
if
to pretend.
What if the experiment didn't work? Like, what if they got to Ellie and then during, like, the surgery, she's gonna die anyway. What if they got, like, whatever they needed out of her and it didn't work?
Exactly. It's like, what was the purpose?
If it did work, who says the Fireflies are gonna make humanity better?
Oh, they would have ruled the world. They would have, like, chose who they wanted to get it.
Antidote.
Exactly. People couldn't, like, attack them anymore and everything, but, that's another.
Joel could have possibly fucked the world, I don't care. I actually prefer the ending the way it was. Yeah. So, I just hope that Ellie isn't mad at him.
I think she just accepts the fact, whatever. I think she realizes that he's lying, possibly. But
she totally is. At that ending, she totally knows he is.
But I don't think she necessarily cares. Because
no, that's what I'm saying. I hope that she accepts it. She's not mad at him. That's what I meant by that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I hope that she accepts it because she'd rather be with him than dead.
Exactly. And it's like she wasn't there to actually just see it justified. So, it's kind of like, okay, well, I didn't see it, and it seems like you really do care for me. So it's like, let's just try to survive,
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all the world that she knows anyway. So, I mean.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Wow,
that was a really good discussion.
We talked about that for about almost 40 minutes.
Dear goodness, we're already on the 40-minute mark?
Oh, roughly. We started about 20 minutes into our Skype conversation.
Oh, no!
That's all right. Oh. But, man,
well, I guess, then, I don't really have to ask you what you've been playing lately, because you've been talking about Batman and everyone knows.
Right. So, what exactly did you want? What did you want to ask about it? Because we were talking about the immersion of the game. What did you want to ask about the game itself?
I already asked you about it, how it immersed you, and you explained it.
I know, not about the immersion. I'm talking about just the game in general.
Oh, well.
I threw you for a loop.
I don't know.
You want me to just give like a brief synopsis of how I think everything works?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, pretty much. I won't go into detail because you all pretty much know how I've said it's my game of the year already. I mean, come on. Well, pretty much I'm at about 90% completion of the entire game. I've already beaten the story. I'm just trying to finish up some of the side missions. I probably won't do all of the Riddler trophies because there's 243 of them, and if I had done them throughout the game, I'd probably be more driven to do it. But I don't have to do it. I have done Riddler's actual mission stuff, like it was saving Catwoman, but I can't actually fight him until I get all of the Riddler trophies, which is kind of annoying, but it's to be expected. And I've got one more besides Riddler. I've got one more bad guy to take down, and that is Deathstroke. He kind of pops up in the middle of the game, sort of, kind of, with some of the other side missions. And pretty much, like, to face him, you have to take down all these militia watchtowers and these militia, like, road checkpoints and stuff like that. But the gameplay is really amazing. The combat is, like, just so satisfying. Each punch that he lands, it's like, poof, 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 it's like, it's awesome. You feel like Batman. The Batmobile, while they do use it a lot, There's some cool puzzle elements that you can use with it. I love running over people in the Batmobile because it doesn't actually kill them; it just execute them, and it's freaking hilarious. They're they get lunged halfway across the screen, and they're still alive, and I'm like, that makes me laugh. Makes me really. It's hilarious. The graphics are impeccable. Story is great. All the side stuff is really good, and everything just really flows really well. I kind of wish that I had done all the side mission stuff in between everything, the main story. That way, when I beaten the main story, I could just go on to the end of the game. But I love the game too much to do that, so I enjoy playing more. I do know what the ending is, even though I haven't completely beaten it. But I mean, it's pretty obvious by the end what's going to happen. No spoilers for anybody that doesn't know anything about it. And if you have a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I suggest you get it. And if you love Batman, it'd be a disservice to you to not get it. Even if you don't want to necessarily pay $60 for it, maybe wait till it drops down 50, 40, maybe even $30. I think it's a full price buy at any whatever you can get it at. 60, 10, doesn't matter. I mean,
$10.
I mean, if you can find it for $10, good luck. $10 make it holla. Mm-hmm. But it's just it's a very satisfying game. I'm geeking out about it again because I don't want to do that.
You are geeking out about it again.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that again. I guess if I could say if any criticisms about it, maybe some of the stuff can get a little repetitive. There's a lot of some of the side missions. There's a lot of stuff. I'm not even talking about the Riddler's stuff. The Riddler's always had a lot of stuff, but with some of the militia stuff, the Arkham Knight's army stuff, there's mines that you have to put a virus in to destroy, and when you do that, you have to take down a whole bunch of tanks. 30, 40, 50 tanks sometimes at a time. Which, if you upgrade your Batmobile, it's not terrible, but it's still kind of annoying. And then you got to take down these militia checkpoints, where they've got these little checkpoints set up in the middle of the road just in case something happens. They can try and get to you and stuff. And watchtowers, and there's drones up in the sky. I got to do all that to even get to Deathstroke, which I've actually done quite a bit of it. I've already got all the watchtowers done. Just got to get the checkpoints done. But I mean, other than that, it's just a really fun game. Game of the year. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yes, and that's your spiel about Batman after your
Exactly.
nerdgasm.
It is. My computer's a little sticky now. Just kidding. Just my pants.
Keep that to yourself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perv.
Hey.
But I think that's all I got, to be honest with you.
Me too. Really. There's not a whole lot to talk about in the gaming world right now. We already talked about E3 and everything. It's just...
Yeah, I checked everything today, I think, other than IGN, because I don't like IGN. Just, you can hate on me all you want. But I couldn't find anything interesting. So, yeah, that's why we talked about Immersion today. So...
Exactly.
If you want to listen to us and find us and talk to us, you can find us on Twitter at gamerbullshit with the I and underscore. And we are also on YouTube as the exact same thing. And on Shout Engine as the exact same thing. So, and Jacob and I both have Twitters. So
Twitters.
Tweeters.
Tweet.
We both have tweeters.
Tweeters.
It's like a mix between a pager and Twitter.
Yeah, because you get tweets instead of beeps.
Yep, that's what it is.
Yes.
But if you find us on Twitter, I guess good for you. Or I could just tell you my Twitter.
It's not going to be that hard to find us. I'm just going to
yes,
say
it
that
is.
right out.
I'm a ninja. I hide in the shadows.
No, you don't.
Oh. Well, I'm at TickleTwit on Twitter if you want to follow me. But you don't, trust me.
I won't give out my information just yet.
So, but yes, Jacob, are we on anything else, or is that just it?
That's it right now.
Yeah.
If you like us, leave a like. If not, leave a dislike, leave a comment, tell us how much we suck, how much we're good, what we can improve upon. We just want feedback. We know people are listening. However, we would just
My
love
shout engine tells me that we have an estimated audience of 46, so whoever the hell is listening...
Come on, just get like we want
you.
we want to interact with you all. We think y'all are cool for listening to us. We don't care if one person listens
I
to
know.
us.
For people listening to both of us, I'm shocked. I wouldn't want to listen to me.
I wouldn't either, to be honest with you. I wouldn't want to listen to you either. I would like to listen to my voice because my voice is pretty sexy.
Okay.
But you just sound like this all the time. I'm sorry, I'm being a dick now.
Yeah. And with
but,
that,
I mean, what?
And with that, I think we're done.
Yes, very much.
So we will see you all next week, and Jacob doesn't get a goodbye.
But